What if I told you that a man who once slept under the stars with nothing, absolutely nothing, is now worth $3 billion? What if I told you he started with a company that was literally dying and turned it into a global empire? This man was rejected by society, abandoned by family, and told he would never amount to anything. Today, he controls more wealth than entire countries. This isn't another rags to riches fairy tale. This is the surgical breakdown of how one man weaponized failure, turned rejection into rocket fuel, and built an empire from the ashes of someone else's dreams. His name is Mohed Altrad, and by the end of this story, you'll know exactly how he did it and how you can steal his blueprint. Syria, 1951. In the vast expanse of the desert, Bedouin tribes move with the rhythm of survival. Among them, a child is born into a world where education is luxury, stability is myth, and tomorrow is never guaranteed. This child would lose his parents early. No family fortune, no connections, no safety net, just sand, stars, and an impossible dream of something more. Today, that orphaned nomad controls the Altrad Group, a construction empire worth billions operating in over 50 countries. He owns rugby teams, writes best-selling books, and employs over 50,000 people worldwide. But here's what makes Mohed Altrad different. He didn't just build wealth, he systematically reverse-engineered poverty, turned disadvantage into strategy, and transformed what should have destroyed him into the very foundation of his empire. When you have nothing to lose. At 17, with barely a word of French, he made a decision that would change everything. He left Syria for France, not as a refugee seeking comfort, but as a hunter seeking opportunity. Picture this: a desert nomad stepping into French universities with no identity documents, no connections, speaking no French. Most people would have crumbled. Altrad saw it as the ultimate freedom. Here's where most people get the story wrong. They think Altrad succeeded despite his background. The truth is more powerful. He succeeded because of it. While French students took education for granted, Altrad treated every lecture like oxygen. While they studied for grades, he studied for survival, computer science degree, engineering qualification. But Altrad wasn't just collecting credentials, he was building weapons. Each skill was ammunition for a war against poverty he was determined to win. While his classmates saw education as a ticket to a job, Altrad saw it as intelligence gathering for his future empire. Before the billions, there were the corporate years where Altrad's real genius emerged. Fresh out of university, he strategically chose positions that would teach him the construction industry from every angle. For over a decade, he worked inside the machine he would eventually disrupt. He learned how construction companies operated, where they failed, what clients really wanted, and most importantly, where inefficiencies created profit opportunities. While colleagues complained about company problems, Altrad was cataloging them as future solutions. While others saw industry traditions as unchangeable, he saw them as outdated systems waiting to be revolutionized. Every corporate failure he witnessed became a lesson in his mental playbook. By the time he was ready to make his move, Altrad had reverse-engineered the entire industry's DNA. 1985. When most 34-year-olds are climbing corporate ladders, Mohed Altrad was about to execute the most brilliant business acquisition in construction history. This was a dying scaffolding company in France. 18 employees, outdated equipment, bleeding money. Everyone else saw a corpse. Altrad saw a resurrection opportunity. Here's the genius move. While competitors fought over profitable companies, driving up prices, Altrad went hunting in the bargain basement of business failure. He didn't buy a company, he bought potential at a discount. But here's what makes this legendary. Altrad bought it with a plan so detailed that failure was impossible. He had already identified every problem and designed every solution. What happened next wasn't just a turnaround, it was a complete reinvention. Instead of trying to fix what was broken, he rebuilt from the ground up. While competitors focused on selling products, Altrad focused on solving problems. While others competed on price, he competed on value. Within 2 years, the dyeing company became the most sought-after scaffolding service in the region. But Altrad wasn't satisfied with regional success. He was building the foundation for global domination. What happened next was systematic domination executed with military precision. The Altrad Group didn't just grow, it devoured markets, country by country, contract by contract, competitor by competitor. But here's what separates billionaires from millionaires. Altrad didn't just build a business. He built a system that builds businesses. Every acquisition multiplied capabilities. Each new market was strategic positioning for the next phase of growth. While traditional companies grew organically, Altrad grew strategically. Scaffolding led to construction services. Construction services led to project management. Project management led to international contracts worth hundreds of millions. Rugby team ownership was strategic brand building. Publishing best-selling books was thought leadership that attracted premium clients. Today, the Altrad Group operates in over 50 countries, 50,000 employees, billions in revenue, $3 billion in personal net worth, from zero, from nothing, from a desert nomad with a dream and the absolute refusal to accept limitations. What happened next was systematic domination executed with military precision. The Altrad Group didn't just grow, it devoured markets, country by country, contract by contract, competitor by competitor. But here's what separates billionaires from millionaires. Altrad didn't just build a business. He built a system that builds businesses. Every acquisition multiplied capabilities. Each new market was strategic positioning for the next phase of growth. While traditional companies grew organically, Altrad grew strategically. So what's the blueprint? How do you steal Altrad's formula and apply it to your life in 2025? First, use desperation as fuel, not excuse. Your current struggles aren't obstacles, they're training weights making you stronger than your comfortable competitors. Second, hunt where others won't. While everyone fights over shiny opportunities, find gold in the graveyards of failed businesses and forgotten markets. The biggest opportunities are often disguised as problems everyone else is running from. Third, don't repair, redesign. Stop trying to fix broken systems. Build new ones from scratch that make the old ones obsolete. Fourth, scale systematically. Don't just build a business, build a system that builds businesses. Think empire, not company. Fifth, turn your story into your strategy. Your background, your struggles, your unique perspective aren't things to overcome. They're advantages to leverage. Mohed Altrad proves that your starting point doesn't determine your ending point. Your past doesn't define your potential. Your current circumstances don't limit your future empire. The question isn't whether you can build billions from nothing. Altrad already proved it's possible. The question is, what are you going to do with this blueprint? Thanks for watching this incredible journey from nomad to billions. If Mohed Altrad's blueprint inspired you to think differently about your own potential, smash that subscribe button right now. We're building a community of empire builders who refuse to accept limitations. Hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest success breakdowns. Drop a comment below and tell us, which of Altrad's 5 lessons will you implement first? And if this video opened your eyes to what's truly possible when you weaponize disadvantage, share it with someone who needs to hear this message.